This is Tom MacDonald. He's a MAGA rapper, and he made a song called "They Can't Cancel All of Us." Oh my god, dude! These people live in a fantasy land where they're like persecuted 24/7. Oh, I cut out the music, so it's only vocals for copyright reasons.
They told me, be a man, boy, tough enough. Then they let women become men. They tricked me.
Okay, sorry. Wow, that is an interesting. Are you telling me that you fell in love with a trans person and you went on 3 dates, and on date number 3 you didn't realize this, but they were trans, and you slept with this person, and you were none the wiser, and you just continued, and you had like a wife, you got married, and when you have that hard conversation a year and a half in, where you're talking about having kids, because you had your dog to prepare to practice for kids or whatever, and your wife says, sorry, I'm actually, like, I was born male. I hope that doesn't bother you. This dude is unironically complaining about being tricked. Did that happen to you? Were you tricked? Did somebody pretend to be a woman to try to win your heart over or something? So we're like 5 seconds in, and this is already absurd. By the way, the algorithm is hitting me hard right now, completely ignoring me. So I'd appreciate if you watch to the end of the video. Having increased watch time as a percentage and a raw number is what pushes the video further. Also check out my books, owenmorgan.com. All right, back to the video.
Then they let women become men. They tricked me. They told me, speak your mind if you're brave enough. And I spoke up and I got canceled quickly.
No, he didn't. Tom MacDonald, are you kidding me? He's one of the biggest MAGA rappers ever. You weren't canceled for anything. And for the record, not wanting to contribute your buying power to a person or an organization because they're a fucking nutcase is not canceling you. It's me making a personal choice with my personal money. There isn't some large weaponized movement that's formed by George Soros or something that sets out to like cancel people that they don't like or something. It's like fictitious nonsense. Also, MAGA is the biggest cancel culture, quote unquote, group imaginable. I'm sorry, we're taking a detour here for a second. I've got to. It's like that one time Forgiato Blow, another MAGA rapper, and Jeremy Levy, also a MAGA rapper, decided to boycott Target and Bud Light. You guys remember that?
Yeah. Intentional shoppers. There's a cleanup on every aisle. Target is targeting your kids.
They found literally nothing in this Target store that was upsetting in any way, shape, or form, but they rapped about it anyway.
They put a target on my back, but they targeting your kids. They don't even need to ask, cause you all know what it is. Yeah, that's why.
Sad, because it's got a good beat.
I think it's just showing what the world needs. Like I said, it all starts with the children. Somebody has to stand up for the kids. Somebody has to stand up for the children.
And this tattooed head is going to be the guy to do it, huh?
That's where they start with, this agenda with the younger group.
Anyway, the point is, MAGA rappers just live in this fantasy world, this delusional fantasy, where they are the victims of absolutely everything, when they are the ones that are doing the victimizing, that are perpetrating what they're complaining about. Okay, I don't have a problem with people using their free speech to boycott companies. I think it was dumb as dog for them to boycott Target and Bud Light and stuff like that. It was literally over nothing. But okay, hey, it's your American right to do it. But don't complain about cancel culture if you are going to do that type of shit. It's nonsense. All right, I'm sorry. I'll be quiet. Let's listen.
They told me, be a man, boy, tough enough. Then they let women become men. They tricked me. They told me, speak your mind if you're brave enough. And I spoke up and I got canceled quickly. We were always too young and too nice. And now
MAGA, renowned for being too nice. Totally. Absolutely. That checks out.
we were always too young and too nice. And now we're too old and too white. Yeah.
They're too old and too white? Is that what he just said? You think that you're too white? And people are complaining about that? Brother, I don't give a fuck if you're white. Why would anybody give a shit? This is more persecution complex trash. Nobody gives a fuck, okay? Get a grip on reality. I'm begging you.
either too left or too right. Well, we're speaking our minds tonight. 'Cause you can't cancel all of us, and you're more than welcome to try. But you can't cancel all of us, 'cause you're
Who the fuck are these people? Some dude carrying a what is this, a smoothie? What is happening?
can't cancel all of us, 'cause we're standing here side by side.
Oh my God, not her. It's not Kayleigh McEnany. No. Is that Laura Trump? Yes, that is Laura Trump. Wow, dude. Oh my God.
And you can't cancel all of us. You run the stars and stripes.
Who is trying to cancel these people? Honestly, is there like a mobilized movement to cancel him?
But you can't cancel all of us, 'cause the internet ain't real life. They told me, be a man, boy, just like your dad. And told me everything I am is toxic.
Who told you that? Who said that? He's obviously referring to toxic masculinity. When people hear that word, they don't actually know what it means. They think that it means being a man is toxic. That's not the case. It's stuff that hurts men. Like, this is a men's rights issue. You should be in favor of research into the concept of toxic masculinity because it makes people weaker and it hurts them, makes their lives harder. Like, not expressing your emotions. Like, you're not allowed to cry in front of anybody if you're a man or at all. That's toxic. You got to talk to somebody about your emotions sometimes, right? And Tom MacDonald here, I guess he lets his emotions out in his songs, but that's not very manly in the eyes of like, a MAGA nutcase, apparently. Toxic masculinity. I don't get like what their hang up is with this.
They said the color of your skin doesn't make you bad, but mine makes me racist. Got it.
No, the color of your skin does not make you racist.
We were always too weak and too afraid, and now we're too male and too straight. You're either too real or too fake. Well, we're speaking our minds today. 'Cause you can't.
Dude, did they get like a 12-year-old to throw their finger up? Oh my God.
'Cause you can't cancel all of us, and you're more than welcome to try. But you can't cancel all of us, 'cause we're standing here side by side. And you can't
Oh God, Kevin Sorbo, dude.
cancel all of us. You run the stars and stripes. But you can't cancel all of us.
Oh my God, no. Is this the guy from Pawn Stars? I'm so sad to find that out. I didn't realize he was a right-wing nutcase. That's heartbreaking. That show is really interesting.
But you can't cancel all of us, 'cause the internet ain't real life. You can take my job.
Okay, he's going into like another hook. Oh my God, look at this dude. This is the best. This is top tier right here. I am a big fan of this haircut. I think everybody should be forced to have this haircut or they're not real MAGAs. I've been reading this book about how to do TV interviews, basically, like how media training or whatever. And here's the bottom line with it. You need to go in with a message that you're trying to communicate. For example, this is the example the book gives. Let's say you're trying to get a bill passed and garner public support for this bill that eliminates malpractice laws for doctors. They're no longer beholden to, malpractice or whatever. They can't be sued for malpractice basically at all. So how do you change that? Or how do you get public opinion on your side for something so corrupt, brazen, and disgusting? The answer is find the good thing in it. Whatever good thing it could possibly be. Anything. The example he gives is 7% of pregnant women in Pennsylvania are 100 miles or more away from their obstetrician and they pretend that this is because of like malpractice laws and stuff. And they also pretend that if the malpractice laws were lifted, that would change. So you have to go into these interviews with three things. In addition to your overall message, you need to go in with anecdotes, statistics, and sound bites. anecdote would be like, Sally here has been pregnant for 3 months and she can't find a blah, 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 blah. Statistics are things like 7% of women are, 100 miles away or more from their obstetricians. And the soundbite would be something really catchy that kind of reframes the situation to be something that's completely 100% obvious. Like, having doctors 100 miles away from the patient is like keeping Band-Aids at a friend's house. You come up with a bunch of these little sound bites. You just keep repeating them over and over and over again, basically. Stay on message in interviews. So the reason let's bring it back to what we were talking about here. I was going through Fox News, just watching some stuff, and I found that, particularly on Laura Ingram's show, it is all sound bites like that. All of it. Every last bit. It is one of those three things. It is anecdotes, false statistics, or sound bites directed toward making Donald Trump the most revered and admired human being on planet Earth. And you know what else they do in addition to that? It's full black and white, good and evil type of talk. Like, for example, somebody is like planning a conspiracy to rob a bank, and they're working with this person, or they're planning to hire a hitman to kill somebody. We'll go with that one. They're planning to hire a hitman to kill somebody, and they're caught in the act. Fox News would frame it as, what, people aren't allowed to like text plans with their friends anymore? You're complaining about people texting plans with their friends? That is literally the excuse that Jesse Waters gave for why Pete Hegseth and JD Vance and the other people were discussing war plans on their iPhones. People can't text their friends? Frame everything that you're doing as banal and unoriginal and normal and boring, and everything that the other side is doing is evil and sick and depraved and demented, and they're broken and all of this other stuff. And it has to be constant, a constant stream of it. You can never let up on the charade for a minute, because a sizable chunk of the United States gets all of their news from Fox News, because they don't even realize that Fox News isn't news. They think that, they get home from work, sit down in their chair, turn the TV on, and they're just sitting there listening for an hour or whatever a day, and then find out what's happening in the world, and then go about their business. And that's all they're getting is a constant barrage of lies, of black and white, good and evil, soundbite, statistic, anecdote, trash, 24/7. And all of their older friends that they know are getting the exact same soundbite, statistic, anecdote, trash injected into them. Anytime they speak to anybody in any context ever, anywhere, it's always that. And that is how we got to a point where these people believe that trans people control the government. I mean, it's an insane thing to even say, but these people don't exit their little chamber and see the world for themselves at all, ever. And the more people believe something, or let me rephrase, the higher number of people that believe something, the more credible the belief system is. Anti-vax sentiment used to be relegated to nutcases on the internet. Nobody actually bought any of that. But as the Trump movement started integrating that anti-vax sentiment into their messaging, it got more and more and more popular, and now it's a mainstream belief that everybody has, or at least everyone has thoughts on. So the point is that the MAGA movement is in an echo chamber that is nearly impossible to pierce. That is how we've come to the point where we are now, that these people literally believe that they are under attack when the MAGA movement is the group that is hurting people. Exactly flipped. 180 degrees.
You can take my job away for something I may have said online. But
you call somebody the N-word and you say, I am a Nazi, quote unquote. Yeah, maybe so. Maybe you should lose your job for that. But again, Fox News zeroes in on this anecdote of this happening to somebody and blows up the statistics and pretends that liberals are getting all of these people fired from their jobs and all this other like they're feeding this in this black and white, I don't even know what the word is to refer to this black and white anecdote statistics soundbite formula. My mom says Fox is too woke for her and literally has Real America's Voice and OAN on 24/7 on TV and on her radio when she's sleeping. It's just, sometimes I wonder how people got here to here. That's how. That is how that happened. It's wild.
But you can't control a man who won't comply. And you can call me
Like, brother, no one's trying to make you comply to anything.
every name that you might think will hurt my pride. But if you think you're stopping me, you're out your mind.
But stopping you from what? I don't want you to be a Nazi. I don't want literal Nazis around. That's my main complaint. Are you going to be a literal Nazi?
'Cause you can't cancel all of us, and you're more than welcome to try. But you can't cancel all of us, 'cause we're standing here side by side. And you can't cancel all of us, and you burn the stars and stripes. But you can't cancel all of us, 'cause the internet ain't real life. 'Cause you can't cancel all of us, and you're more than welcome to try. But you can't.
New album releasing. Okay, I guess we've entered advertising territory. Anyway, wow, dude. Wow. Benny Johnson. Kid Rock? Was that Kid Rock? Yeah. No, is that Kid Rock? I can't even tell who that is. No, I don't know who that is. Who is that? Is Kid Rock not in here? LA Native Patriot. I'm not sure who some of these people are, but they're all psychotic. Anyway, tell me what you think about it in the comments. Absolutely wild.